we're gonna have to restart this recording. I'm working through some things. It's gonna be a heavy video. It's gonna be, this is the Gribbly's Folly Sunday Antisocial Hour. That time each week when I smoke my pipe and complain about humanity, but then also complain about the sudden loss of humanity. That's not good either. Now, if you are a piece of humanity and you have a question for me, you're welcome to leave it in the comments. As long as you hashtag it AskGribbs, I will answer any question. You cannot believe the scandalous and salacious answers I will pose to the questions, the deepest, darkest questions in your putrid black hearts out there. I know you have them. I know you're wondering about things that you're afraid to ask. I am your man. So we're gonna tackle a heavy subject because I try not to have like big heavy videos close together, but like this is just what's going on with me. In the past 2 weeks, I have been adjacent to five end of life scenarios. 5 people have died in my life. Not close family or anything, but I have seen people I know pass away or watched their family members deal with them passing away. And it's just a little much. Like you try to be stoic about these things, right? Because this is a part of life. Death is a part of life, and we all have to deal with it. And you don't want to get, especially when it's not even your family. Like I have my own grief. I have my own grief to deal with, but then you want to be supportive. You want to be vulnerable enough to support people. Hey, I've been through this. I know what it's like. You want to be able to offer that kind of stuff, but you also want to protect yourself a little bit, especially when it all happens at once. And you know, in a couple of cases, these are people I've never met, but I'm trying to support their family. And society does not teach us all the things that it teaches us. It does not teach us how to support people in grief. And I think it's worth it. I think it's worth having a bit of a conversation about that. When my dad died, he was old. He had done everything he needed to do. He had 3 adult children. Everything was set. He saw it coming. He had a terminal diagnosis for a period of more than a year. There was time. There was time to get the affairs in order. And in a couple of these scenarios that I've kind of been adjacent to recently, it wasn't that way. There was not a sense of closure or a sense of like, oh, this is the natural way things should be. And I don't want to I don't want to speak about other people's details, but one of the situations was a young mother with children who died of breast cancer, and it strikes me, the thing that really gets me is how goddamn unfair it is. Not only unfair, but almost just insulting. How insulting it is that it's not like she died in a car crash. It's not like she drank herself to death. It's not like she had risky behaviors or it was just an accident. She fell off a log or something. Like, her cells killed her. A glitch in her cells killed her. And there's so many people walking around in this world completely broken because a glitch in the cells of a person they loved made those cells kill them. It doesn't make any sense. And I have a good friend that's an oncologist, and I've asked him, like, wait, explain this to me. Like, explain cancer to me. And you can read the definition. You can read how it works. By the way, it's still bizarre. This recent thing, I got on, cancer.gov and I looked up what cancer is, just to kind of refresh my understanding. And the amount of things that a cell has to do, the amount of glitches that have to be present to make cancer is insane. Like, number one, it has to reproduce uncontrollably. It has to not listen to the other cells saying, hey, don't reproduce uncontrollably. And then it has to be able to suck up resources from the actual cells. Then it has to be able to hide from the immune system that is specifically looking for cells that are reproducing uncontrollably. This is just an accident? This is just something that happens? It boggles my mind, and I don't think anyone could ever like medically explain it to me in a satisfactory way where I'd be like, oh, okay, now I understand. But it's just hard to think about the fact that here is this family whose lives are forever altered because of their mother's own cells. So that's me, you know, pouring things out a little bit, trauma dumping a little bit on y'all. But what I think is, and here's the reason I'm doing it, what I think is important is society doesn't teach us how to support people in grief. We are told how to get a job, we're told how to do the quadratic equation, we're told how to get into college, we're not told how to file our taxes, but we're told a lot of things. We're given explicit and implicit rules and guidelines about so many things in life, but not here's how you support someone in grief. I have learned more than I ever wanted to know about how to support people in grief, and I want to share what I've learned. Now, I've done this before. When Matches died, I made a video about this. But the best model that I have found is called the concentric circles of grief. And it was invented by a smart person, and I'll link to it below. But the idea is, in any situation that is a crisis, you have a person in crisis. So a bad thing has happened to someone. Around that someone, there are concentric circles of people. So if something happens to your spouse, they're the person in crisis, and you, as the spouse, you're in the first circle out. You're the closest to that person. Then there's their friends. Then there's their extended family. Then there's co-workers or friends from high school or adjacent people or people they just met on the street, whatever. You get the idea that we're closer to some people than we are to others. Your closest people are kind of in crisis with you, but for simplicity's sake, let's just imagine they are your immediate support. It is their job to do nothing but support you. So if your spouse is attacked by a great white shark and they get their leg bitten off, I'm using an absurd example here because I don't want to use any real life examples right now. They get their leg bitten off by a rabid great white shark. Your job is to say, I'm so sorry. How can I support you? Can I, can I come with you to your doctor's appointments? Can I sign your prosthetic? Can I go to the store and get you something? And can I get you some fake ice for your phantom pain? See, this is the problem. This is the other reason I can't talk about this stuff, is my sense of humor is way too dark. But you get the idea. Your job is to support them. What your job is not to do is then, after you've supported them and you're exhausted, you go to them and you're like, dude, I don't know how to deal with it. Like, you don't have a leg. Like, your leg is gone. You got these great white shark teeth bites in your stump of a leg. How do we go on? How do we move on with it? Can I live with a spouse that only has one leg? No. You shut the hell up and you call your friend and you say, hey, I don't know how I can live like this. My spouse only has one leg. Then your friend's job is to say, dude, that sucks. I am so sorry. What can I do? Can I go to the library and find you how to how to live with a spouse with only one leg? How do you deal with that? I'll find you a book. I'll get on Amazon. I'll have the book shipped to your house. That'll be even easier. And then you shut the hell up. And so that's the situation I'm in, right? I'm overwhelmed by these situations that I have witnessed. Didn't happen to me, happened to other people, but I've witnessed. I'm overwhelmed. I am dumping on you. I sent my comfort into the circle and I dump my shit out of the circle. That's the idea of these concentric circles. And when Matches died, I made a video about this because obviously very well-known guy and his family sort of put themselves out there to receive messages. I was worried that everybody on the internet is gonna start sending messages and wanting things. We all think that we're entitled to people's grief. I see it all the time. Let me tell you how I'm feeling about the loss of your father. No, shut the hell up. Tell someone else how you're feeling. And we may have legitimately put in exhaustive efforts, right? It's not invalid to say, hey, my wife is down a leg. I have been working extra hard taking care of the house and, volunteering in the sack race. But supportive people and caregivers have legitimate gripes. They have legitimate things to be very upset about. But under this model, you can't send them into the circle. You always got to send them out. The other thing that's worth mentioning, and I think this goes for any situation in life, is that you should never miss an opportunity to shut the hell up. Keep your mouth shut. Don't go up to someone who is grieving and say, this is all part of God's plan. Or, hey, you know, time heals all wounds. This too shall pass. No, no, shut the hell up. There are entire books of the Bible about being angry at God for grief. Maybe that's how this person is feeling. Let them feel that way. This too shall pass? No, no, it doesn't pass. That's the whole point. That you are a different person before and after these events. Your life will never be the same. It doesn't pass. You don't get your dead wife back after like a certain number of years. Like, you are forever broken in that way. Now, you might go on to be a happy person. You might find a full life after that, but you're never going to be the same. You never get over it. And in that same vein, I do want to share this one little detail that I have learned through personal experiences. When someone tells you they or a loved one have terminal cancer, do not say, hey, you can beat this thing. No, you can't. It's terminal. That is what the word terminal means. And if you have gotten to the point where that is your diagnosis, you have a team of doctors way smarter than some rando saying, we're so sorry, but this is terminal. If you lack something to say, just say, hey, I wish you the best. That, it works for any situation. Just say that, or just shut the hell up. You can never go wrong by just shutting the hell up. Okay, all right, done preaching. Let's get to your questions. Thank you for being the outside of my circle where I can dump all my emotional trauma. I appreciate that. Questions? We're a little rushed today, so let's get through it, shall we? This is my Boswell 2016 poker, a gift from Amy Mack back in the day. I am using auto exposure. I hope you forgive me. It's not normally my taste to use auto exposure, but we gotta roll. Sometimes people leave comments that I just don't know how to respond to, and there's a lot of those this time. Sorry to hear of the bad reaction to Elizabethan. By the way, thank you, and Collapse Experiment pointed out, thank you for enduring the reboot of that video. I thought it was much better than the first video. Elizabethan is one of my absolute favorite blends, says BriarBoy8959, and I frequently smoke it for breakfast on an empty stomach. Better you than me. Smoking Cardboard says, I've had to lay down and take a nap before from nicotine sickness. Well, yeah, if you're smoking cardboard, yeah, I would imagine that would knock you out pretty good. Always was an alcohol and nicotine combo that did me in. There was no alcohol in that story. I don't know what. I mean, I think, let's be real here. Probably when the nicotine sickness set in, I also started having like some seriously debilitating anxiety about it. That probably made things a lot worse. Pondering with Pepe's Pipes 96 says, when you hunt squirrels, are they flying with big eyes? No. No, they are not. I just made a story. I made a video telling a ghost story. Rafa, for you, and some others that asked, made this video. I grew up in a log cabin. That was part of the story. And that log cabin was infested, graced by a nest of flying squirrels. And they are super endangered and federally protected, I believe. So no, I would never hunt them. I hunt the other squirrels that are much more common and therefore okay to kill, I guess. Sound Dude 177 says, as I commented on your original video, Elizabethan is the only tobacco that has given me the same reaction. It was first thing in the morning on an empty stomach, never again. Someday I'll try it in the evening after a full meal. Nope. Alexander Gennaro says, it was one of two tobaccos that made me sick, the other being Haunted Bookshop. I, fortunately, tried Haunted Bookshop after Elizabethan and felt it coming on and stopped. So my Haunted Bookshop experience was better. I didn't find it worth, I know this is sacrilege, but I did not find Haunted Bookshop worth pursuing, worth smoking slowly enough to not get sick. Anyway, he says, now you know why dogs eat the cat litter. They're just trying to tell us how full of shit we all are, yeah. Now, Timber Drifter has an excellent rebuttal. He says, I don't think I've had nicotine poisoning to that degree, but I did have a cigar sneak up on me while working in a fire tower. I had the wobbly head, shaking hands, sweating profusely, and I was weak and hiccuping like a cartoon drunk. It hit me right about the end of my shift, and I had to climb down a couple of 100 feet of narrow steel ladder in a high wind. You always gotta one-up me. You always gotta one-up me, man. This has been a very heavy video. Let's end it with a little bit of levity. I assume John Gallieri and family have sent me, against my wishes by the way, have sent me a giant box. And today, I'm gonna open it. I hope this will add levity. I hope, you gotta be careful with people named Galdieri from New Jersey. He's Paulie's brother, after all. So I hope this isn't like some mafia-inspired, like, horse's head in a box. Very weighty. More weighty even than the topics in my brain. What is going on in here? Pig ribs. Oh! Interesting. Let's read. Hey Gribs, this is a bunch of camera stuff we have at our office and no longer use. We used to use the camera and the ring flash to take pictures of teeth for shade matching. I'm aware of that practice. And now I just use my phone. I don't know if any of this stuff is any value to you, but I figured you would know what to do with it. Let's see what's going on. Thank you so much, John Galdieri and family, and I regret all of the mafia references I ever made about you. When someone gives you a bag of old, or a bunch of old camera stuff, you start with the bag. And so we've got some chargers in here, and it looks like a digital 3-piece lens cleaning kit. What else is in here? That is a very interesting plug. And some random USB cables, chargers, and Canon batteries. Okay. Tamrac lens pouch. Actually, I need one of these. I've got... lenses keep getting bigger and bigger, and my camera case is not getting bigger, and so I have to be very judicious with the lenses and the pouches that I have. So I've been carrying a couple of lenses in like an old rolled up pants leg. I'm not making this up. I actually do this in front of clients. Yeah, I sew one end of a pants leg closed and then I'll wrap the lens. It actually works really well, but this will look a lot more professional, and it came with a Canon 18-55 zoom. Interesting. Thank you so much. Another excellent pouch, and this I think will fit my Minolta Autocord, which would be handy because I need a pouch for that. Whoa! 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 4 GB CF cards for when I want to take 10 pictures. Man, do you remember when CF cards used to come in megabytes? That's crazy. I shoot with 256 GB SD cards now, I think. I shot 7,000 photos at my last gig. It's a lot of photos. Speaking of which, I think my battery's dying here, so again, I'm under the gun. And then the large bag here, which is an excellent bag from Vanguard. Let's see what's inside. It's nice and leathery. Goodness gracious, look at this thing. What is this? An EOS Digital Rebel. John, you sent me a 10528 macro? Are you crazy? So I don't think you know this. I don't make this common knowledge, but I digitize my film photos with a macro lens. So all I need is a Canon to Sony adapter, and I will be able to put this to excellent use. Thank you so much. That's going to be very handy. So this is the DS60 DSLR. I shot my first digital wedding with a 20D, if that puts things in perspective and ages me. This is quite a stroll down memory lane. I was never a Canon shooter because things kind of worked a little bit backwards than they did from Nikon, which is what I learned on. So I was just stuck with Nikon until I went Sony. So yeah, this brings back some very specific memories, and you gave me the chargers and everything. This is great, John. Thank you so much. I will be putting this to good use, and if I can't put it to good use, I will find someone who can, and I have people in mind, actually, who might be able to use this kind of gear. This is heavy-duty stuff, too. Thank you so much. Everybody else, don't send me anything. I have so much stuff. That's the reason the background is out of focus, is because it's full of stuff. Stop sending me stuff. But, John, thank you. Thank you all for watching. And next week, I'll try to be happier, keep the ends out for the ties that bind.